Okay, it's all about where the economy is going, how we keep our jobs or not. Forget about pay rises. There'll probably be pay cuts, especially people who have been laid off. And then those positions come back on the market. You can probably expect, especially for some of those manual roles, where you can be easily replaced. If they haven't been as low as um, possible, they probably get lower. And weekend allowances and penalty rates, that's probably all going to go. I don't mean to be doom and gloom, but let's see what the Main Street media is saying.
Next month's job numbers are likely to be much more telling of the long Centrelink queues seen after the government shut down large swathes of the economy. If Treasury forecasts are right, the unemployment rate will double in the next 3 months to 10%.
Just have to understand that there's that famous saying that the markets can uh, continue to be irrational much longer than you can be solvent, meaning that the markets may take a little while to catch up to the fundamentals or the other way around. I did say in my previous video that it's all about the cycles and charting. That is true. But the whole economy, most of the economy is really shut down. You go on the streets, you can't you can't sit down in a cafe. You can't get a meal. Yes, takeaway, and you know what? I refuse to take a takeaway because it just doesn't feel like what am I paying $10, $15 for lunch or a lot more for dinner for when I'm just going to take it to my place here, which is nice enough, but it's my place. I mean, if I'm to make or have something similar, and I eat fairly healthy, if I go to the supermarket, that meal is going to cost me $4 or $5, and it'll definitely be healthy, as opposed to, I don't know, dinner, $20, $30. I just don't see the value. So I won't participate in that economy until they reopen it. So for me, that retail economy is dead. I will go to the supermarket, maybe Kmart if I need something. Stay legal, of course, only necessary travel. Otherwise, I mean, today on the 23rd of April 2020, here we are. It's 11, it's just about to tick over to midday. And, the market's kind of recovered because overnight in the US, we went up 2.99%. Here, it's just lingering, barely positive. But in any case, if as my colleague was to analyze it, he expects everything to go up or down in the straight line. So if things didn't go through ups and downs like they do in nature, this would just be going and pushing down through the floor before it turns back up. So we've got to understand there'll be up days, down days, but the trend, short-term trend is one thing, and then the long-term trend is another. So again, if no matter how good or bad it is, there'll be good days or up days and down days in the market. Currently, I think it's a dire situation as far as the economy. They still haven't told us if they're opening it up. It is shut down as far as I'm concerned. My office is shut down. I can't actually go into the office even if I want to. So what does that tell you? Yes, I'm working from home, so that kind of helps. That keeps things going. But like I said, everything that we see, the economy, I don't feel like buying. I don't have the confidence to buy unless I have to, which means just the supermarkets. Everything else, discretionary spending for me is like close to zero. And since these economies, our economies, are based on the consumer confidence and consumer spending, and consumer isn't spending, what does that tell you? This S&P ASX 200 is currently 5,240. You know what? It should be 3,240, but it'll probably get there. It just takes time. Oh, and what's the video in 2020 that doesn't talk about the CV? So I heard this from one of the mainstream alternative channels where they still believe in this CV thing completely being exactly like they tell us on TV. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it is almost completely opposite to what they're telling us on TV, but not exactly. They always have to give us a little truth mixed in with lots of lies, so you don't know what the heck is going on. So what was mentioned is that and I've just looked it up, herd immunity. Apparently, this CV is not very, or our bodies, human bodies, are not very good at developing herd immunity to this CV. So what does that open or keep the door open for in the future? In my opinion, they're going to say, well, because of the nature of this CV, and because our bodies haven't been able to establish this herd, nearly said mentality, but herd immunity, um, this has come back. So we're going to have to shut down the economy again. We're going to have these lockdowns. So that at the push of the button, they'll be able to just say, hey, the situation has changed. It's a completely different beast. We need to shut it down again. And that's how they control us forever. Just think about September 11. Everything that had happened after that as security measures are still in place. You still have to be scanned, the X-ray scans. In some cases, that happened to me when I was flying domestically. We have to take our shoes off so we don't have the, I'm not going to mention the bee boom, at us, and the underwear that has that, and the shoe bomber and stuff like that. So don't think that this is ever going to go away. This is a permanent ticket to population control. Just saying. Be aware of it. Stay legal, stay safe, don't get sick ever. Don't get influenza, don't get CV, please. I mean, of course. Wash your hands. I always used to wash my hands. What's this new thing about washing hands? I wash the hands.
Look, I mean, obviously there's a lot of employers out there that have just put a freeze on all new hires. Obviously people out there looking for work are looking for fewer jobs than really we've seen in Australia in more than a decade. So
You know what this means. I mean, in real life, my company is a multinational um, IT vendor company, American owned, and they've frozen hiring. Now you think, of course you will. Times like these, you'd be lucky to keep a job, let alone get new staff on. We've lost people in the team, so this is a replacement requisition. They've cancelled it. We were about to sign up a new person, and it didn't happen. It just got completely frozen. And you think, again, you're lucky to keep a job. I understand, but what sort of economy is this? You're not even replacing people. You're laying off people. There are fewer job ads out there. Again, I'm not being the fear merchant here, but it is the current situation. You have to be realistic and you have to position yourself according to that. When you are overly optimistic, when you think, oh, yes, this is a recovery, look, the market's just gone up, it's up 0.38%. The housing, you just really want to be sitting on the sidelines at the moment, not forever. Even the who, Martin Armstrong, is saying that the cash is currently king. Don't worry about banks taking your cash or whatever. That'll be taken care of at least in the short term. For now, banks are solid enough in Australia, in the United States as well, probably New Zealand, all the Commonwealth countries, English-speaking countries. The only problem is, apparently, according to Martin Armstrong, is European banks. So if you got any money there, uh, you know, do something with it. I don't think I have many European viewers, but long and the short of it from Martin Armstrong is that if you have money in European banks, you're a European in the European Union, you're advised to open a bank account in an American bank that does not have outposts, does not have presence in Europe. So it has to be a bank that is in United States and doesn't have the departments or branches in Europe. That's all it is. There's obviously definitions of unemployment, and the way they've structured this unemployment number and the figure is completely bogus in a sense that it just doesn't capture the people that are actually looking for work, the underemployment that's been talked about forever. So if we go up to 10% for the unemployment, which is not terribly worse historically as far as the number 10%, but the new definition 10% probably means 25%. So it's much worse than that. So again, just position yourself hunker down, work hard, stay safe. Um, Use this downtime if you're not working, or if you're working fewer hours, if you're not as busy and still working, to educate yourself, to promote yourself. I myself, for example, thought about this lockdown, and I thought I've never actually eaten more healthy than I am now. I've never been more healthy in a sense where oh, the gyms are closed. One of my friends said, oh, well, how do you do it? And I said, well, I got the um, I got the weights at home. There's no excuse. I go jogging on the street, up and down. It's very interesting. It's not boring as a treadmill in the gym, at the gym, right? This is not the only thing I eat, but it's one of the things, right? Go mad with health food. You can eat as much as you want, not put on weight if you eat the right things. I mean, yeah, coffee, tea, sure. Beautiful outside, go run. What stops you? Look at that guy there. He's happy. He's even staying legal, not just healthy. I don't mean to be preachy. This is just what I'm doing. So, once again, stay safe, take care. We'll talk again very soon, I promise. Thanks.